Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Fedor Sazanovets and I'm a senior .NET developer. This video is part of a series about solid principles and how to implement them in C# and .NET. Solid principles is something that every object-oriented programmer absolutely needs to know. And in these videos I will show you how to implement them in .NET and C#. For those of you who don't know what solid principles are, SOLID is an acronym. It stands for Single Responsibility Principle, Open-Closed Principle, Liskov Substitution Principle, Interface Segregation Principle, and Dependency Inversion Principle.
Today we will talk about interface segregation principle. In all our previous videos, we have been using classes without interfaces, but in a real-life situation, your classes will probably be implementing interfaces, which will show your classes which methods and properties the classes should implement. The application that we are building reads some text from a file, applies some HTML processing to it, and saves it in a separate HTML file. And our application consists of three main parts. File processor that reads text from files and writes text into files. Text processor, which splits text into separate paragraphs and applies opening and closing HTML tags to each paragraph. And MD text processor, which besides this applies some additional MD-specific conversion and converts MD tags into corresponding HTML tags. MD text processor inherits from text processor class. And so we create interface for every single one of these parts. Our file processor class will be implementing this interface, iFileProcessor, which tells our class that it should have a method to read all text that returns a string, and write-to-file, which takes string as an input parameter. It's very simple in this case, but it's not as simple with MD text processor class. MD text processor contains two methods: convert MD text, which was introduced in this class, and convert text, which comes from the base class, text processor, that MD text processor inherits from. And we can just place those two methods into an interface that MD text processor will be implementing. It seems that it works. But if we open text processor, then we'll see that we have a problem. The method called convertMDText is not contained within text processor. And the only thing we can do in this case is create an empty method. And so we have a method that will never ever be used, which isn't right at all. And now we'll have a look how to solve this problem. In an object-oriented language, you can not just inherit from classes, you can inherit from interfaces too. And because of this, we have created an interface called IMDTextProcessor. And because of this, in our iTextProcessor interface, there is now only one method. Our MDTextProcessor class implements IMDTextProcessor interface, while TextProcessor class implements iTextProcessor interface. And now we'll summarize what we have learned. Interface segregation principle is needed, so none of your classes will have any methods that those classes will never use. This principle is strongly linked with the single responsibility principle. In some situations, without interface segregation principle, the single responsibility principle is impossible to implement.